We are in the Tonle Sap Lake, also known as the Great Lake of Cambodia. I believe that it is arguably the world's most productive lake per hectare surface area, and probably certainly one of the most complex hydrologic and food production systems on the planet. About 90,000 people are actively living in floating houses along the rim of this lake, which expands from about 2,600 square kilometers in the dry season to up to 13,000, 14,000 square kilometers in the wet season. So it is a huge surface area and depth expansion due to the flooding, largely of the Mekong, from upriver, backing up the Tonle Sap, which normally would flow into the Mekong. But the Tonle Sap flows backwards and fills up the lake, as do 20 fairly sizable tributaries that contribute maybe 30–40% of the water contribution to the lake. But it's dominated primarily by the Mekong. We have a huge amount of diversity of fish species. Over 200 plus species of birds. Many of them are colonial water birds that nest and breed here. Right at this site that we're near, called Trektual, which is an international Ramsar and a site as well as a biosphere reserve. And many of those bird species are threatened or critical or near threatened in the IUCN Red List. So this is quite a special place on the planet, and it's also hugely, intensely harvested. And that intensity, as well as the habitat destruction, the fragmentation of the landscape for rice, and in some cases burning for wildlife, for capturing animals in the wildlife trade. There's been some harvesting of the wood, lumbering, but primarily it's the fragmentation due to rice, recession rice cropping that's driving that habitat loss. The fish here, some of them depend on during the dry season, they depend on the muddy swamps and backwaters, and some of them migrate upstream up the Mekong. Some may go down to the delta of the Mekong. There's a lot of movement, 11 months of the year. There are fish that are coming in and out of this lake system. It goes from approximately 1 meter in depth in the dry season to presently we've got close to 10 meters, 9.5 meters of depth. So we're right here sitting in this Tonle Sap trying to do some research that Mauricio is filling some of the gaps. In a primarily unstudied area. One of the absurd things about this lake system is that not only is it important as a food producer for protein and fatty acids and calcium in the diet of the people, but it's complex, and it's very, very little understood as to what is driving some of the factors that make it so complex.
Working with the University of Canterbury team with our PhD student to measure the water quality and water quantity of the Tonle Sap. And we now are on the boat with flooded around the Tonle Sap. This year is very, very, very big flood in the Tonle Sap. The water depth is right up over than 10 meters. And the project that we are doing now is try to modeling the flow changes in the Mekong River, and also look at the impact to the Tonle Sap. So that's why this is a very important activity that we try to bring the hydrology to the vegetation around Tonle Sap. In example, like flooded forest and grassland and other type of vegetation that very important for habitat, like for fishery, for bird and other animal. So yes, today we have very good time and very good event for this kind of study.